And we're live. Hello, everyone. This is the Ninja DC. Joining you again for your Reactor review video. Actually, I always keep saying review. Anyway, for My Little Pony Season 7, Episode 23. Let me see. At least I think it's 23. It's getting confusing at this point, but I think we only have one episode left after this one for the finale. Anyway, joining me again is a herd of bronies.
Hello, all you ponies. I'm a herd of bronies. Welcome back to Let's Watch Season 7.
And joining us again. Oh, actually, wait. Did you know it just popped back in?
Didn't you hear me? I came back.
No, but just like a second ago, it was Day Lover and like a lineup of people. Then like you pop back into second spots.
It's a second spot, like I'm just standing right in front of him, just going, "Hey, I'm second opinion. How you do?"
Wild Unova appeared.
Join us again, Unova.
All right, then. Good evening, tide ponies and gentle fools all around. I'm just basically here, just saying hi and hello and such. We're basically going to be watching an episode review on
I think he broken. And then join us again, Day Lover.
Yeah, or the third opinion.
Whoa, kind of presumptuous here.
So it's the first opinion.
I'll just sit on it for a while, and then when none of you people see it coming, revenge.
And hello, everyone. Next.
And so I was trying to make a second pun, but I couldn't come up with it. Second opinion.
It only took you a second.
I'm the second opinion. So named because I always go second, and as such, I always get the last word. Remember that.
Okay.
All right. Does everyone have their episode up and ready?
Yes.
All right. Press play in 3, 2, 1, play.
Yay.
All we need is a dot of salt, a dab of sugar, and a
Hey, look,
slice of
Derpy
ginger.
has mail again.
Are those real measurements? How do you keep track without a
Oh,
recipe?
Pinky
Baking
making
is more
cakes.
art than science. My masterpiece is to celebrate Rainbow Dash's 73rd wonderful training session.
73rd?
That's specific. I know. The pie is blueberry because Wonderbolt outfits are blue. The crust is rainbow for obvious.
Oh, I need
But the
that.
most special part is
Actually,
the
it's an interesting
73
idea.
secret sweets and spices that represent each training session. Could you please pass the brown sugar, pink sugar, sweet root apple, jelly berry, mash, and a towel?
Wow.
Twilight!
Boy,
You're getting
You are
through
going to a
something.
lot of trouble for Rainbow Dash's pie. Phew, that's because I know how much she loves them. My
Aw,
pies
that's
are
so
her
cute.
favorite. It's worth all the trouble to see her happy.
Yay.
Now I'm gonna need some cocoa powder,
Yay.
cocoa flakes. Ooh, cocoa bar. What's that? Isn't that for the pie?
Oh gosh, raw cocoa.
Twilight, that's hilarious.
Ew.
Don't mix
Wait.
chocolate into a blueberry pie.
Like cocoa bar, not like chocolate bar.
Oh, God!
Oh, isn't. Oh,
Oh, my God, too much chocolate!
Oh, she made herself a chocolate shake.
Now let's
yeah, that's so cute.
Imagination!
Hype train.
Well,
One,
that's one of Pinkie Pie's better openings in a while.
How many layers was there?
Hey, I forgot. The opening isn't affected by Twilight becoming an alicorn until the end.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I thought for a while it was like, oh, it's just Twilight with alicorn wings at the beginning.
It's called budget.
But it also makes sense continuity-wise for an introduction of her going to the Ponyville, thankfully.
Oh.
Oh, hey, it's Topple Ponies.
Diamond drop?
Episode.
Pinkie Pie, not for my friends.
What the heck? My episode just stopped playing.
What? No!
I don't think balloons can keep you from falling through clouds.
All right, everyone, go back to where did it stop at?
Oh,
Ah,
we're stopping
we're
now.
stopping.
Yeah, because
Go
second
past this
froze.
point.
Stop.
Where did it stop for you, second?
Shoot, now it just won't play at all.
Oh God!
No.
Oh no.
Are you streaming it or did you download it?
I'm streaming it.
Dang it!
All right, try dropping the quality down to like 360p.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I did that. It's still refusing to play.
Mm.
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 I am ending on a cute picture of Pinkie Pie with her hair in front of her eye. That's so cute.
Alright. I'm gonna try it. Okay, I'll go to 220 and this is not gonna work, is it?
220?
Yeah,
How
220.
about this?
That's a
How
lot
about-
of seconds there.
Ah.
Actually, everyone go back to
There's too many. If I do
everyone
say
go
so
back
myself.
to 205. Actually, just that's where we pop out of the black
Okay,
screen.
205? Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah? No? 6, 5, 4, 6, 7, no. 5. Come on, 5. Oh, well. Okay. Yeah, like right when we came to Cloudsdale, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
should be right on a black screen image
Black screen of
after the
death.
credits.
Mhm.
All right. Second, is it working seamlessly for you?
So far, as well.
All right, everyone, plus play again in 3, 2, 1, play.
I'm just wondering,
training, every
that
pony.
Wonderbolt
Nice work,
figure
Crash.
is
Really
still
added
staying
that
in the
sparkle to
clouds.
that pressure diamond drop.
Ah.
Surprise! Happy 73rd Wonderbolt training session!
Oh, 73rd. Okay.
My 73rd training session? That's specific.
It's a nice round number.
I'm
Yeah.
so proud and happy.
If
for you, and I've
if
been counting all your
only
training sessions, and
one
I'm gonna wait
one
till you're
number
100, but I
shorter,
got too
then it
excited,
could have been
and I
one of
know
my
how much you
favorite
love pie,
numbers.
So happy 73rd!
72 a favorite number. Is 73 a prime number?
You didn't have to do this.
Yes.
Hmm,
Oh, I
yeah.
know I didn't have to, but I really
A pie
wanted
number.
To.
Oh. No, that was
Have a
bad.
bite. Whoa, what's that? Huh, guess it was nothing, but
Wow.
Oh, she's
Oh.
quick.
pie is the
No
best
sound
I've
in
ever
anything.
had.
She eats fast.
Is that
Huh.
I knew you'd love
Is
it.
that
Have
cinnamon
one. I made the
and
whole thing
butterscotch?
for you.
Oh God!
Really?
You're bringing the
That's
wrong
so
fandom
great.
here.
I need to go change. And then I have to take Tank to the vet. His sensitive tortoise tummy's been acting up again. Do you mind if I
Aw.
take this pie with me?
Poor
Of course
Tank.
not. I'm gonna get back to my cute Sugar Cube corner anyway. Congratulations again.
I know I feel like the background's on a loop.
Yeah, the background is so loop. They haven't left. Oh, now they just left.
I knew
Yeah.
she'd love it.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, no.
That
Oh. No, you're probably just seeing things.
He already.
see a blueberry rainbow crust 73 ingredient pie with a slice eaten out of it in here, did you?
No.
Oh.
Of course you didn't.
Does
That was
Rainbow
even
have
ridiculous.
Hedma on her
I bought
payroll?
it for Rainbow Dash, and she loves my pie. She would never throw them away like trash in the trash with other trash, right?
She's a liar.
Oh,
Rainbow has a web.
don't cupcake the.
Crisp is the one I made. I must be seen.
Hey, we're back in the
Cookie
party.
I had a
shower.
lot of chocolate this morning.
What is up with you and all of that chocolate?
Where's my pie?
And it's baking
These
chocolate too.
bananas.
Oh,
Oh no, this is party of one!
Unless Rainbow Dash has been replaced by an imposter who throws delicious pies away.
Wait, we already had that! That was
Or
called the finale.
brainwashed by a pie.
oh,
eating
Gummy
evil
is so
cookie.
cute.
You make a good point. Rainbow Dash is too stubborn to be
I
brainwashed.
think that's the most invested Gummy has ever been in a moment.
Something
Oh
else going
no,
on
there's
here.
episode 100.
Let's look up a few of the more recent pies I've made for her. The boysenberry pie I made for her birthday, and her 3 half-birthday
They say
meringues.
poison or
It's not your
poison?
birthday, but here's a pie anyway. They come.
Poison, I hope.
I heard poison.
Yay, all of these, right?
Poison.
Another
Hey, look!
pie!
Oh, perfect anniversary! Oh, oh, wow! Especially after that
Lemon
episode.
meringues? Hey, what's that over
Okay,
there?
that does look good.
Wow!
No,
Oh, never mind.
you're not even going to try just a taste of it.
Trace.
Here's the pie anyway, Dad.
Just a little slice.
No way. Check that out.
And this
Launch
feels
it.
weird that this is only
not even my
pies because Pinky
birthday.
makes like
Oh,
Wait, does that mean that's actually a real holiday?
because I think pies are like the least dessert that Pinky usually makes cakes. and
Yeah.
candy and
And cupcakes.
of course cupcakes, but alright, there's so much animation. I swear that's being looped.
Oh!
Oh.
Mystery of the Quantum Express!
You're telling me you've
Yeah.
never
Throwing a
seen
little of that in here
one?
too.
Investigating.
Already investigating reference?
Or negative. I wasn't seen eating one. Interesting. Very
Wait,
interesting.
where's the balloons? Ah,
Are we
God,
under
continuity.
investigation?
Are they in
Chief Detective
Cloudsdale?
on the pie case, I
Yep.
labeled
Yeah.
you all ponies
You
of
could have
interest.
just tied them up like a.
That's to tell me everything you know. Well, we have been
No, wait a
getting
minute, they're at the
mysterious
Wonderbolt
monthly
camp.
pie donations. Would you be able to pick these pies out of a lineup?
Line
Oh.
up pies.
That's the most
Hey.
calm
Here,
fireworks
Rainbow
I've
Dash
ever
headquarters
acted.
tank has
I
been having
think.
tummy troubles. When did it start?
About a week ago. Poor Tank had all the telltale signs of sugar overload. Jiffy shelves,
Oh.
reptilian indigestion.
No, she's also feeding Tank.
This all happened the day after I made Rainbow Dash. Thanks for lending me your
I don't
chef
know if you can't
pie.
feed turtles
Seems
sweets,
the
but I
pieces of
don't
the
think
puzzle
you
are
should.
dropping into place. The
Don't-
picture
Don't
isn't
fall
great.
at home, kids.
What? Wait. Don't feed a tortoise.
Is that everything, Doctor?
Well, there's also this.
Oh, come on!
How could he have eaten
But
that whole?
Miss Shirley was in here not long
Yeah,
ago.
no, I'm
And
pretty
still
sure
be
you
attacked.
can do that to a
Similar
tortoise.
symptoms.
I
Perhaps
mean, if
it's
you
a
had
pie
a
pandemic.
slice that was like that, I could
And I
take
kiss
it
my
somewhat
nail,
seriously, but
pony
come
zero.
on.
Dr. Fawn is right. I do always have to remind the foals and fillies not to share the pies with the class hamster. Animals just can't
Oh.
digest pony food.
Don't feed the hamster
But where
cake,
do these
kids.
pies come from?
Can't digest pony food.
She drops off her day after Rainbow Dash's half-birthday pie every year.
But
Oh.
The day after her half birthday?
What is this web of
Very
lies?
interesting.
So
Because
intricate.
I
As
give her a
much as
pie on her half
Pinky.
birthday every year. And I have a feeling it's the same
Oy.
pie.
Something about this
Wherever it
mystery
comes
is
from, the
seeming
students just love it.
like it's staring Pinky in the face.
Yeah.
That can be sure
It's a
some
little
pony
obvious,
is.
yeah. But it's fun.
Oh,
Oh.
Tales 2017 theory's over.
Why don't you just talk to her and figure it out?
She really said so herself.
Because
Oh,
that's
oh.
common
One thing I
sense, the
know
one thing Pinky
It's
lacks.
the truth.
Pinky in place of.
Oh God.
Not even Soren.
Rainbow Dash
Uh-oh.
doesn't like pie, and she's been lying to me about it the whole time.
It took you this long?
That's my exact. That was my exact thought too. Alex.
Segment.
I was like, wait,
Pinkie Pie.
just now it kicked in.
I was like going for some kind of plot twist with that, but
Oh, party
Yeah,
plans.
you know they're not.
Brad, you okay?
Probably not.
Or are you just screaming for fun?
I'm almost never gonna say for sure with Pinkie.
I've been making Rainbow Dash pies for years, but she doesn't even like them. She's been lying to me.
But every pony loves your pies. They're the greatest thing
Aw,
since
that's
sliced
cute.
apples.
Thank you.
And I could swear I've seen you eat one of the pies before.
Have you really?
I thought it was.
No.
I thought it was AJ that made the best pies.
Why I said it?
Are
Well, maybe she thinks that
sure?
Pinky's is
I
better.
don't know.
Maybe I haven't?
Exactly, because it's all been a sham. Rainbow Dash has been laughing at my pies behind my back and
Have we ever seen AJ bake a pie?
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did several times. She was actually baking pies for the.
What is that?
What the hell?
Oh, it's so terrible.
Strawberry cream.
Now the animation matches the quality of the writing.
Oh,
I really don't think that's what's happening.
that's amazing.
Well, I've got just the thing to get your mind off all this madness. We've had a great apple harvest, so I was hoping you could whip up a few of your delicious pies.
Apple pie.
Oh come! Oh no!
I love it. You're misfortune, Ninja.
No, I'm just pissed because it was strong continuity from before that AJ makes freaking apple pies. Now she needs Pinky to do it.
I don't think that's what I did. Also,
AJ doesn't have much. Don't take away what she has.
I mean, I know Applejack bakes and she's good at it, but I mean, like,
I've never heard of Wake
they-
Your Friends Up Day.
Maybe she wants to have some more free time.
Favorite pie and celebration. Gifts are the second most important
Aw.
part of Wake Your
Friends
Friends
Up
Up Day.
What's the first most important part?
Accepting the gift and enjoying them immediately.
Oh.
Well, I'm sorry, I forgot about Wake Your Friends Up Day.
What's that?
Let me make it up to you. Here.
Oh, clever.
Oh.
Nice.
What do you mean, where did it go?
Killing him.
That was clever.
boy. Although Tyke sure did seem happy after he swallowed it down, so.
Congratulations on your 74th wonderful training session.
Oh.
Now eat it.
It's pecan.
Okay, this is getting a little out of huff. I haven't even
Maybe
trained
just a little,
yet.
yeah.
Well, I wanted to pre-celebrate because I already know how great you're gonna do. Eat the pie.
Eat the pie, damn it.
Pinky, look out! I'm not gonna fall for
Oh.
Pinky crash. Pinky crash. Pinky crash. Oh, God. Are you okay?
Sorry, man.
Should take her to insane asylum instead of the hospital.
the pie was delicious.
Oh,
Get better.
the ultimate liar.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, she's good.
what she's planning now.
Help me!
Rainbow, become a hero.
Thank goodness you're
Oh,
here.
no.
The top part of my pie pyramid, but the whole system became unstable, and there's only one way to save me. We have to eat the pie. Don't worry, I got
That would kill anyone.
Yeah. Yay.
You gotta be more careful, okay?
In awe.
No.
Oh, you knew that gag was coming in a pie-centered episode.
Oh.
Have a pie. Have 3. Have 15.
Yes.
Eat up.
Oh God, the children.
All these
Not the children.
What?
Well,
Delicious. You did it again, Pinky.
Curse you, call me the clown. Now we're going for a pie festival.
Yeah. There you
oh
are.
god.
Oh God.
You're the only one who hasn't seen yours yet. So here, your pie.
Oh my God, the
jeez.
shade looks so beautiful,
Are you
yet still
okay?
crazy.
You seem to be staring
Look at her
more than
eyes.
usual.
Have she slept?
Really like to watch others enjoy my pies.
Hello,
Sure,
Pinky.
you don't
Please
have
don't
to
kill me.
blink. Nope, I'm not much of a blinker.
Just eat the pie.
Well,
Pinky.
do I want to take a big bite or a small bite?
No, don't.
Oh,
Oh, jeez.
Medium.
you're
Definitely not medium.
So tedious.
Do you have any milk?
Oh, time is going to stop.
Oh,
What is happening? Oh, keep them
Rainbow, you can't tell me I'm
Never
super
mind.
speed and your
Pies are just
reflexes.
too good to resist. What? No, no. That's it. I can't take it.
Everything okay, Pink?
No, it's not.
Everything is not okay. You hate my pies.
What are you talking about?
Balloon.
Exactly what I'm talking about. So what you did?
This is going to get busted.
But you've been fake eating my pies. You threw away the pie I made for your 73rd Wonderful training session, and I know you secretly somehow got rid of all the other pies I gave you. Admit it. That's crazy. What do you think I did? Somehow make them all disappear into thin air?
Oh, yes.
there it is.
Oh,
There it is.
Maybe I made one of them disappear into thin
What?
air.
Oh. Ava.
Cut you! What?
I just wanted to share these amazing pies with the folks of Cloudsdale. So I was trying to send them up via balloon mail.
Stop it, Rainbow.
Just said they were delicious.
Oh.
Well, obviously that's because I have amnesia.
What? That's our JRPG protagonist.
It's opposite day.
Yo.
Working fine, paint washing, and I know today's not opposite day because I make you a pie for it every year. Pies you probably just throw away, or give to charity, or destroy with your laser eyes while laughing at me.
Laser eyes.
Oh, so you admit it? What? No, I can explain. I don't want to hear it.
Aw.
You really upset her.
She won't listen to me. She won't let me
No,
apologize.
of course not.
Oh yeah.
I feel terrible.
Oh
But
yeah.
you
Should
have
be
been lying to her.
feel terrible.
To all of us, actually.
Oh.
Come on, don't make it bigger than it
else
is.
you're lying about that we should know?
Oh.
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Oh, there it is.
Is it my fault that I don't like pies?
Love that
Not
expression
just
on
Pinky's
AJ's
pies,
face.
all pies. I know how much she loves making pies, and if I told her I didn't like them, it would have crushed her.
You kind of crushed her anyway.
Yeah.
But you're right. I guess I should have just eaten the pies in the first place.
Yeah, or at least try the piece.
I know how I can make it up to her.
Oh God.
Well, it's implied that Rainbow's tried this enough to her yet.
You.
There's no, she's not a fan.
That you? What is that?
Rainbow Dash made her own pie.
It's you. Pinkie Pie, wait. I know
Oh,
now
no.
that I should have been
Oh,
honest with you
no.
from the start
Oh,
because
no.
lying to your friend is wrong.
No, she didn't.
And
Yes,
getting
you
rid of all
did.
those pies was
No.
fantastic.
Oh,
I
yes.
mean, do you have any idea how
Oh,
many
no.
pies you've made for me over the years?
Oh.
I know exactly how many.
No.
I have a very detailed pie lean.
It's that joke from a royal problem, but in
The point
reality
is,
now.
I thought the castle was worth it just to spare your feelings. But I was wrong.
Aw.
So, to make up for it, I made this pie for you.
Why?
Okay.
Why?
It's not as bad as I thought,
I'm
but
eating
still,
this pie
eh.
for
This is
friendship.
feeling like the splinter.
That smelly
It's
circular
disgusting.
monstrosity is a pie? Yeah. I know I can't go back and eat all the pies you made for me in the
Use
past.
mud and
so
concrete?
Instead, I'm gonna eat
Maybe.
this giant one for you now. So here I go.
No.
No!
Please don't.
No! Rainbow!
Would you
Oh.
eat that pie?
Can't watch you do this.
Yeah.
Is that crust or some kind of concrete?
I know.
Honestly, I have no idea. Oh, I can't believe you're willing to eat this terrible pie
How
for
did-
me.
What even went into
Okay,
this?
listen, this whole thing is overly complicated and
What's the?
I think I finally understand why you lied. Whoa, what's that? Huh, guess it was nothing. I'm so glad you enjoyed my pie.
Not to make her happy, she lied.
Oh, never mind.
But still, you could have told her, don't she love cookies?
No way. Check that out.
This is.
Why are we being shown this
It's not
again?
even my birthday.
Yeah, because
Oh, sorry.
Different
Guess it was
point of
nothing.
view on the same moment.
But that custard
yeah, it's
was
even the same point of
everything.
view though. So
Yeah, it is the
Oh
same
no,
point
we
of view.
cut to the pony did the hijinks before, and now it's more like
I know it does.
the yeah.
You did a lot of
Yeah,
ridiculous
it was
really
from
complex
Pinky's
things
pie.
to get rid of my pie.
You.
Because it made you happy.
Pinky's pie. That
Yeah.
pun is going to be
Just like
everywhere.
I went to a lot of effort to make
Well,
you the
this
pie.
picture perfectly represents my thoughts about the worst and the best of the main six.
Yes. And if you're willing to go through all
Oh
of that,
no,
it really
Rainbow
shows
Dash
how much
pie.
you're willing to do for your
It's going to
friends.
be
No!
yummy.
No!
Oh,
No!
Jack,
Don't even
that's
apply that!
Get out of that thing and give me a hug.
Oh God!
Just remember.
Oh, yes.
Always be honest with me.
Ew.
I could have told her that.
Cool. How about this? Your hugs are too tight.
I'm doing a beware hug for you, Dashi.
No, they're not.
Aw. Yay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wow. That episode was
I
I'm
like
a
it.
lower
that
point.
was like
Hate it.
that was like a sign of like seasonal rot. Like you could easily see, but like I mean it's like the only episode that feels obviously bad. It's the only episode that feels that way. Why? Why?
I don't
actually
know. I'd say
liked the start, just the ending. Why should it be nice?
it's no. Remember, we also have Daring Don't or Daring Done.
Daring
So-
Done is a bit more, how should I say, it has a bit more of a glimmers with like its mythology and such, and the ideas that I presented at the beginning, it at least had that. Even though I did say it was like the worst episode of the season in my perspective, it's like at least it doesn't feel like obviously bad like this episode is. Like
Well, this episode just feels like, well, to censor it for MLP somewhat, a clusterbuck of an episode. Like,
Mhm.
there's some great continuity nods. There's some horrible, like, recticons of stuff. And then
Right.
the old structure just doesn't, it's like, and then, like, the resolution doesn't make sense. And then it was like,
Yeah.
why is there a double flashback that doesn't really add anything to it? It's just,
it just shows Pinky's reactions.
Yeah. And how Pinky feels about it.
Oh God. Oh my God. This episode. Why? Why did you have to give Pinky one of the stinkers? Why?
to give you a reference, this is also from the same, this is from the same person who wrote Triple Threat.
Mm-hmm.
And parental guidance.
I like parental guidance. But this, no. Triple Threat.
Yeah, actually, I haven't watched this, I haven't watched the episode before, but I have read some comments, and I do have to actually agree with what one said is his writing seems to get worse with every episode he writes.
Oh God. Oh God. Why? Why?
Parental
I didn't
guidance.
think it was that bad. Like,
But Parental Guidance was, I felt, a good episode. Like Triple Threat was just okay but flawed. This one just I did not like.
In Second's words
Oh.
about parental guidance, it was like all the way good until like this middle of the second act to the third act when it became like botched with like the moral that I was trying to tell. Oh my god, this episode has a similar problem. Oh my god, this also has a similar connection with Triple Dread with the case of the Spike issue. Oh god, it all connects. Bad moral center for him is bad.
There.
Why? I just got to like Pinkie Pie again. You had to do this to me, show.
Well, she's not at fault in this episode, so.
No. The phone lines are my least favorite of the podes.
Oh.
Thank you. Oh, why do you have to bring down the episode again? It was some of the most childish behavior. Like, not even season 1 had this idea to this crisis.
So you want to go first with your thoughts?
Who's going first?
I thought she was referring to me.
Oh yeah, I thought you already said all your points.
No, that was just my visceral reaction.
Okay.
That was just his rant.
Okay, now let's begin the rant. So, this episode first starts out with Rainbow basically creating a gigantic web of lies in which she made it as convoluted as Pinkie Pie's own cabinet system in the party cave, just to avoid saying that she didn't like pies. One, how much endurance does she have to even pull such a thing? Two, what is even the point of all this effort to continually have her smile? And three, just how many pie tins did you serve for Tank, you horrible pet owner?
Yeah, actually, I want like a after credit comic that's like Fluttershy, just like talk like having a very Flutterer sort of talk with Rainbow about what not to feed pets.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this feels even a bit worse than say, I don't know, that a certain season 5 episode that got a lot of complaints with Rainbow and Tank.
Thanks for the memories. That's the only one I can think of.
Yep.
I thought
Tank
most of
was
them people liked
so wrong, weren't they?
I thought people
But I
liked that
like that
episode.
episode,
Besides,
yeah. I do too.
the only thing I hear people complain about the episode is how Rainbow Dash got away with no like consequences.
Yeah.
The
I
only
must agree with you,
complaint
Ninja.
So you're gonna take like a goofy, fantastical concept like somebody can stop winter when they don't want their pet to hibernate, and then try to turn it serious on that level at the end. How dare you try to stop winter? Did you think of the consequences?
Mhm. But also in this one, like there's minor consequences for Rainbow again. Mhm.
I mean, then again, I mean, it brings like a lot of charm with Pinkie shenanigans with like her usual MO in cases, but then it just sort of brings up like in the third act when the truth is finally revealed, when the pie falls in Pinkie's face. It's like Pinkie has the perfect reaction to it, and it's reminding me about the Starlight episode in season 6 about her taking control of her friends and such. It's like Pinkie's actually been given a lot more realistic reactions as of late.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, I would exactly be Pinkie Pie. Just you didn't like my pies. Like you didn't think I would be confident enough to like accept the sort of like heartbreaking reality scenario of like you not liking pie just because everyone else in Equestria apparently loves pie. Like seriously, the way they framed that, it's just like
right Rainbow was too. It's not an easy thing for Pinkie to take.
But it's like magnified multitude of like the lies combined with like the truth. It's just like, and then at the end with like Rainbow just bringing out a homemade disaster of junkyard, just
which again made no sense because the whole point was eating Pinkie's pie, and
Mm.
She made her own pie, so why would Pinky care if you would ate that?
Yeah, when it's not come from like a place of our own heart to a friend, you know? The meaning
I think
is
we
that-
all. I thought we all thought like it was going to be something like she dug out the one pie from the trash and
that's
was
I
what
like,
I
also
thought.
thought it was the old pies, yeah.
I mean,
No.
that
I
was
thought I thought it was every pie that she didn't that was like
Yeah.
accidentally like wasted. That wasn't eaten by like a charity or such. And then she cobbled them up together to form a monster pie of like owing and forgiveness. Basically the joke people have about a royal problem at the end from the bronies reactor, which basically it's like, guess what, Celestia? You're eating the pie, you're eating the pancake that Luna didn't eat from 2 days ago. Just- but no, it was much worse, a lot more stupid. It's like intelligence ran off of this episode. I mean, like, there's still like the Applejack comment, and it's like, yeah, why didn't like, seriously. Oh man, Applejack was a bit right in the episode's ending. Was like, I
Yeah.
wonder what else you have been lying to us about that you led to convoluted stuff. It's like, not that I can think of any at the moment. It's like, Rainbow, you have an issue. It's called the Liar's Bandit. You thinking that you can avoid reality for too long? Well, guess what, sister? It'll catch up to you. Or worse, your mountain of lies will be covered up.
It's almost like the episode's doing it on purpose.
Yep.
Yeah, overall, this episode is seriously it's like
Worst of the
mediocre.
season.
It's like mediocre going on like Terrabad at this point in my rating scale. Mediocre going on Terrabad. Like seriously, not even during Dunn has reached the point of Terrabad. And this episode feels like it's etching into it. Hey. Oh.
Next.
but yeah.
I guess I'll go next. Yeah, honestly, this is the worst episode of the season. I think the biggest problem I had with it was the resolution. I had no idea what was happening there. It was just so confusing, and I couldn't follow it at all. Like, I don't know. It's just, yeah.
Okay, I guess he was muted for now. Anyone want to
Yeah.
jump
Well,
in?
I really liked the episode actually until the end because I don't like disgusting things, but I really like the evil Rainbow Dash stuff with the laser eyes. That was just epic.
I mean, then again, that was a point of contention. Like, I was accidentally spoiled about that when I was like looking through YouTube. But I did get the context. I didn't get the context, thankfully.
But
So
I
it was
still
still-
like. I really like the moral, but it doesn't seem like Rainbow is actually learning it. And well, she's telling Pinkie Pie that her hoax is too, much in the end, and she's laughing and saying, "No, they're not." But have she actually, tell all of her stuff now, or what?
Yeah, it's at that point that Rainbow needs to own up to everything she's lied about, because you can't do
Yeah.
that to one of your closest friends like that.
I also must admit, I really enjoyed the scene where she comes out from the table and she has these eyes, and you're just like, oh, it's going to be a cupcakes episode almost. Don't kill me.
No. In this case, it would be known as pies. Revenge, oh my. A new fan fiction legend that will terrify the Brony fandom even in its current state.
And as I said, I also really liked the start, but I just got the flash to Monty Python and the Holy Grail when the ponies with the cakes came out, it was like bring forth your the bad pie, and I was just like bring out your dead.
Bring out your dead. Bring out your dead pie corpses. with
Okay,
their
I'm back.
pumpkins.
I had to go help my mom with something. Hold on.
That's cool.
Aw.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. But I actually don't think it's the worst. I still dislike the Fluttershy episode more
Which one?
Which one?
from this season.
Which one?
Did we only have one?
Two of them.
The
Fluttershy
one with Fluttershy opens the Animal Sanctuary, and the one where she goes on a goose chase to fix weird tree disease.
Yeah,
Oh.
weird tree disease episode.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah. I don't like that.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
we're all in different worlds of perspective on that episode. I mean, I certainly have to respect your opinion.
Yay.
It doesn't mean I agree with it, but yeah.
No, we don't have to agree on everything, or else stuff will be boring, right?
Very true. Very true.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, we're
So,
all bunches
for
of-
the next second.
I'll let Herb finish his turn.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I went over the resolution being confusing and just not making any sense at all. Yeah, and I think the other things I didn't like, I'm sure have already been covered.
Hmm.
So I can't remember what they were, but I just know there was a lot of them.
Okay.
Things like, well, I think the only thing I've really talked about is the rainbow lying and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the disgusting cake.
Rainbow lying and the disgusting cake.
Oh,
the
no,
pie
no.
cake in
We don't need fan
concrete.
art.
Hmm.
Or we're
I
going
mean-
to get that no matter what, but
I just don't get why Rainbow just keeps straight up lying to Pinkie Pie. Like,
yeah.
just tell the fucking truth. It's not fucking hard.
No. And she likes stuff like cookies and stuff like that. But why don't tell Pinky I would rather have cookies?
Wait a minute. I'm gonna check something on the Wikia, and if what my hunch is true, then oh my god, this episode is so much worse for it.
Oh,
I already have it up, so
This should be interesting.
while we wait, maybe one more can say something.
Oh, of course.
Mhm. Or maybe not. Ninja, what did you think?
I usually just keep the closing thing, but yeah, I side more with Nova on this episode. Like it
Hmm.
was just a clusterbuck of an episode where I don't know the writer knew what to do. It was like, oh, let's just have Pinkie Pie shenanigans with pie, and again, like it's weird that like one of my biggest sticking points is like that they just like with the AJ not being able to make pie thing, which is like, but it's like it's one of the biggest continuity thing. It's like saying if Fluttershy couldn't like talk to an animal or something like it's that level of continuity. It's like, how could you make that like? It's distracting me. Then, I mean, there's good scenes in this episode. It's like some of like the Rainbow's like way she's able to get out of eating it like and within a blink of an eye one and the tank disposal system. Those two are great and funny. Like those are like the two highlights. The rest were just like really drawn out.
Mm.
So, drawn out in what way?
Like overly done. Like they spent too much time. It's like, oh, he's not eating a pie. Oh, she's not eating a pie. It's like it got repetitive. And I say it's so ironic that initially brought that I swear they're looping stuff in the background more than they normally do, and it feels like the plot they just loop along stuff.
Maybe it's because it's a Pinkie Pie episode. Like we have to maybe think that she's seeing things, but she's not.
That's not a right impression that you should have for Pinkie Pie episodes.
You find your thing on the Wikia?
Not yet.
Oh. And
I just
last,
feel like for Pinkie Pie, like it should be obvious what her point of perspective is. It's not that we should be flashing back like over to like a waste of time. Like literally, it feels like a minute was wasted on repeated flashback memories.
but Pinkie Pie doesn't make sense, so I think it's
like
actually
you-
clever.
I was trying to figure
No
out
sense.
whether she has seen Rainbow eat a pie before or not.
Yeah, I am looking through season 1 images at the moment. Just because like right now, at first I thought Rainbow Falls might have had the evidence, but then it was like Carbo Loader, so dang it, it's not that one. I'm just looking. If I find a moment in which Rainbow is eating a pie, that this episode is not in continuity, and then it could easily go terrible.
So what?
What about let's see, season 1 episode.
Well,
I
while
believe
they're
that
figuring out stuff, were you done, Ninja?
Yeah, I'm more or less there. Like, I wouldn't say it's necessarily the worst episode of the season, though, but I would say probably top 3 worst or bottom to 3.
That's too bad. Huh? And lastly but not least, second.
Oh, I think you're all out of your minds. This is possibly the most inspired episode of the season.
What?
This is the episode I was hoping Josh Hamilton had in him. This episode is giving us everything at every moment with every ounce of creativity. I mean,
Oh.
I think like this is a very relatable moment for Rainbow Dash. I don't know I don't know honestly a single time somebody giving you something that they were proud to make where anyone can honestly say that the best solution where the optimal outcome is to say to them, no, sorry, I don't like that. Every single one of you has humored somebody like that at some point in your lives. If you haven't, you either get off on being a douche or you are lying. And much like a lot of the best MLP episodes, testing 1, 2, 3, for example, it latches onto something relatable and teaches it in an over-the-top way. Talks about it in a like over-the-top way that doesn't try to bear down on the seriousness too much, because this is not an inherently serious problem, even though it's a relatable one. Instead, it plays it up. It has fun with it. It exaggerates all the lengths that Rainbow goes through to get rid of these pies. I mean, like, you compare this to Parental Guidance, where he starts out as like a really good elbow in the ribs of parents like that. Like, okay, but you want to tell me that like he's getting worse with that episode where he runs that into the ground. Hey, the parents are getting more over the top, just like that joke I did at the very opening of this episode. But this one is losing his touch. Don't even try me. He gave us the fantasy sequence. He gave us that like the blink moment. That was a stroke of minor genius. He gave us the.
Do you even like the cake?
What else there? Rainbow Dash, playing up the Wild Unova flinched. Rainbow Dash,
Okay, Unova, what are you laughing at?
We have lost Unova,
and I mean,
everybody.
and it brings back a lot of what we saw from what we know of Pinkie, like Party of One, for example, Mystery on the Friendship Express, for example. But it's not like where they just drag Lesson 0 out of the closet, like, hey, Twilight got overly anxious again. No, it kind of does it its own way instead of like falling into this anxiety and just despondent, like chip on her shoulder. This one was more like falling into obsession. Like, no, I really gotta know here. Just Pinkie Pie, how she gets insecure about this stuff. So yeah, bringing it back, but kind of doing it its own way and kind of going back to the fantasies Pinkie dreams up. But this isn't just like, hey, she referenced another movie like she did in Mystery on the Friendship Express, which, okay, great there. But again, don't just drag stuff out of the closet. This one, like doing Pinkie Pie picturing a really bad impression of Rainbow Dash maniacally destroying her pies. That, having fun with that. And I could remember what I was going to say in that moment where I paused to observe Unova laughing. It was like...
But did you even like the ending?
So,
like,
well, the ending, like, the fact of the matter is, like, a lot of times, like, friends, especially, when you're younger, you do silly things to make stuff up to each other. Like, Pinkie's holding a grudge, so Rainbow has to invent something that would, like, somehow make it all better. And, the episode had, like, admittedly, it wasn't as funny as a lot of the other moments, and I don't like gross out humor as much, so it is more just downright silliness. But thank goodness the episode didn't start trying to just like play that as the moment where it's oh so dramatic or anything like that.
Yeah, I do agree.
But I mean, and with but I like too how it's playing like at the open. It's not pretending that the mystery is subtle, it's having fun with how much it's not, but it doesn't let you know what exactly the motivations are, or if this even is exactly what Pinkie thinks it is. And so you're kind of wondering what Rainbow Dash is getting at it, like what lengths she's going through to get rid of these pies. So I mean, when we so you're actually paying attention when she is kind of trying to talk it out at the end, like, well, I mean, come on, I didn't want to hurt her feelings, I would. I mean, assuming she hadn't somehow caught me at some point, I could have kept doing this forever and we all would have been happy. And I mean, and granted that, like, this episode, it does acknowledge that, okay, there's kind of a limit on that stuff. It gets to the point where it, like, if you have to say, like, one time, take a little bite, it's like, nice job, and then that solves your problem, then, like, okay, maybe it's worth it then. If it gets this complicated, okay, there are...
she should have tried the pies.
Yes.
And it's been implied that Rainbow does...
what?
He found the pictures of Rainbow eating cakes.
Oh,
Cakes?
No,
or pies.
Well, not exactly, but it's a circumstance nonetheless, a valid circumstance from season 5. Brotherhood Social!
Yeah?
Rainbow and Scootaloo had to eat pies at that moment, in which they had to race against Big Mac and Apple Blue.
Do you ever taste pies in a pie-eating contest?
That's a good question. Yeah,
I've been in a pie-eating contest. You're not savoring pies there. You're trying to...
In a contest of eating, you're not tasting anything. No, that's true, yeah.
Rainbow Dash, if she has to eat a pie to win, I could buy that a lot more easily. But all that, like, I couldn't help but notice none of your, or at least very few of your complaints pertain to the craft of the moments themselves. More like, I don't like the idea that Rainbow would lie, or I don't.
No, we know that she's lying.
What? Did you mishear what I said?
No, maybe.
No, I said, like, the complaints are like, not liking the idea that Rainbow would lie to Pinkie, not really talking about how they do this story where Rainbow feels compelled to...
that's not my complaint, but yeah.
So, I mean... Honestly, if it generates an extreme reaction, that, though, is in and of itself good to me, because we've had so many episodes where I'm
it was boring, yeah.
And the fandom reaction seems to be like, whoa, good as ever. We're still talking about Perfect Pair, right? No, that was 5 weeks ago.
No, it's good.
Whoa. whatever was a great episode.
And now we have
Nova's laughing
Nova
again.
back.
What is it, Nova?
No. It's just like he's too bringing out so much comedy gold at the moment. You're really on a roll, second.
Nova used bluff. It's not very effective.
Bluff?
But yeah, I think we need to be calling a wrap to this because we have another discussion next.
Yeah.
But overall, I would say this is overall probably a divisive episode just because I think 3 of us didn't like it and 2 of us liked it. So sort of a split down the middle-ish episode.
I mean, it goes all in with its comedy, and I mean, it's either your thing or it's not, but I don't think there's much argument that it wasn't doing exactly what it wanted to.
No, I think that too, yeah.
There's just no sense of common sense in that episode at all.
Especially also love when
overplaying
Pinkie
what it
Pie
was.
blinked
I mean,
with the stopping of time, almost.
It's either that or Pinkie-
I thought like at the moment Pinkie was actually like freezing time herself in order to, but instead of, like,
I was thinking that too.
it was like
think of like Twilight Time, for example. Twilight gets downright ridiculous in that episode too, and that is exactly not Twilight Time. It's about time. Yeah, she goes completely insane there too. Goes completely over the top, stops making sense, and that is exactly the point. Except here, she's wondering about something. There, she's wondering about something she's already figured out. Whereas here, I mean, it's in a
Here you
played
can
up,
you can
really
already
silly
see the
way.
solution that they should be taking, is Pinkie Pie should just talk to Rainbow Dash about it from the start.
But
And
sometimes
Rainbow
I
Dash should just
guess
stop
it can be
freaking
hard.
lying and just taste a pie. Like how
humble pie.
hard could it be?
I mean, we know what the solution should be. We don't, but in the long term, but I mean, do you have a way around the hard feelings that they were feeling in that moment? Like, Pinkie Pie calling Rainbow Dash out, having to let her have it. Rainbow Dash having to confess to Pinkie that don't like it. I mean,
Okay.
if they came
Here's
to
the
you,
solution.
what would
Rainbow Dash grabs a pie, just eats it right in front of her, and says, "There, I like it, pies. Now feel
Or I
better."
don't like pies, yeah.
and then does it again on the next 365 days of the year? Pinkie gives her one.
I mean, like,
She could
I don't
taste
get
there's
why
different
Rainbow Dash
kind of
didn't pick
pies.
up on, like, Rainbow Dash is not observant. She would have seen how her actions were affecting Pinkie. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Well, she did. They were making
Should
her
have told
happy
her
up until
outright from the start.
this day where Pinkie is really trying to get her to eat one.
You wanted? Okay, I'm actually gonna make a counterpoint in favor of this episode. Actually,
Oh.
this episode does what the one where Pinkie Pie knows fails at. Provides
That's not hard.
entertainment. Provides entertainment at every single possibility. And yes, I know it's not hard, but at the very least, it puts energy onto the screen. It puts Pinkie energy onto the screen.
That's true.
You know?
I mean, the one where Pinkie Pie knows was like, I'm gonna say it was pretty tired. I mean, like that's
It was filler.
where you know what the punchline is gonna be before
That's
they
the
even
episode
start
with no
making
more.
the joke.
And the weakness of the episode is in particular in the way it treats its main central character, Pinkie Pie. She has to restrain all of her energy, all of her excitement, and that does not make for a very colorful appearance at all. Meanwhile,
Oh,
this,
at least this one had like
The
more
point
Pinkie
where
Pie.
Shining Armor and Cadence show up to like stop Pinkie from telling the moral, or from telling the secret, where going to do it in the episode totally wasn't condemning her for that. Just basically, hope that the people you're keeping the secret for show up in time. I was so happy about that moment because it's one of the times I was able to use that MST3K clip in my review. We hope you've enjoyed No Moral Theater.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we're going to end it now. So we can also discuss our things.
all right.
Yeah, I want to discuss the movie.
All right. I guess see y'all next week or
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Yeah,
Ciao.
I told you I always get the last word.
Second word.
Well, in this case, the last laugh, since you obviously got all the comedy, Sally.
oh, I get the last cut.